Here we go! The episode starts with these three guys walking through a tunnel that leads them beyond the wall. They all spread out, and this guy with dirt all over his face gets off his horse and starts army crawling in the snow. His clothes are gonna get so wet. He comes upon a bunch of severed body parts and frozen heads on spikes. This looks like he randomly stumbled upon the remains of the Donner Party. He gets freaked out by all the dead bodies and tries to run away, but there's a dead little girl hanging on a tree. So far, this first episode of Game of Thrones just seems like a horror movie. This guy is all alone, he's definitely gonna get killed, he should have stuck together with his friends. Never split up if you're in a forest full of scary things. We see all the dead body parts sprawled on the ground, and they form a weird pattern that looks like a kite. Now Dirtface is trying to convince this guy that looks exactly like Mark Wahlberg that crazy stuff is happening and that they should leave. This other guy wearing a beanie is like, we were sent out here to track wildlings, not mess with dead bodies. But Mark Wahlberg is being a total jerk and tells them they need to investigate. I guess Mark Wahlberg is the leader of this group because the other guys follow him. They get to where Dirtface saw the dead bodies earlier, but now they're all gone. Beanie Guy comes up with the brilliant idea of splitting up again, and he tells Dirtface to go look for where the dead bodies might have gone. Why do you guys keep splitting up? Stick together, you're in a terrifying forest full of dead people. Beanie Guy is digging around in the snow when some scary dead dude emerges and kills Mark Wahlberg. Dirtface hears his friend screaming, and then he sees that dead little girl from earlier, except now she's standing and she looks alive. She turns her head and she has blue eyes. She's a zombie. Dirtface runs away, and we also see that Beanie Guy is running. But he lost his beanie. What's gonna keep his head warm now? The two of them see each other, and then Beanie Guy gets his head chopped off by the Geico Caveman. Geico Caveman throws Beanie Guy's head at Dirtface, and Dirtface is like, well, at least none of my friends are alive to see all the poop and pee in my pants right now. And then it cuts to the theme song. Dirtface is totally gonna die. The first 9 minutes of this episode were basically just a zombie horror film. We fade back into a bunch of guys on horses chasing Dirtface. He's alive! Some guys stick spears in his face and take him prisoner. Then we cut to an extremely young Weird Raven kid shooting a bow and arrow with a super young Bastard King. Weird Raven Kid isn't in a wheelchair yet, but he still sucks at archery. Bastard King tells him to keep trying because his parents are watching. We cut to a very young red-haired queen and a little tiny young sad girl doing crochet or something. Young sad girl doesn't like to crochet and she gets distracted by Weird Raven Kid being a bad shot. Before Weird Raven Kid can get another shot off, young sad girl nails the bullseye from like 30 feet away. Weird Raven Kid gets mad and starts chasing her. Just then, a man with his sideburns put into ponytails walks up to Mama and Papa Stark. And he's with Green-Eyed Guy. There's so many young, familiar faces. Sideburn Ponytail says that they captured a deserter. Sorry to come back to this, but I wonder if this dude just like can't grow a beard. If he's trying to make his sideburns look like a beard underneath his chin. This guy's hair needs its own storyline. We cut back to Dirtface mumbling to himself about how he saw zombies, and he looks awful. His lips are chapped and he has a nasty rash on his face. He apologizes for being a deserter, and he insists that he had to run away from zombies. Papa Stark tells the guards to put Dirtface's head on a rock. Papa Stark sentences Dirtface to death and then chops his head right off. Weird Raven Kid watches the whole thing happen, and Papa Stark tries to use this brutal execution as a teaching moment for his 10-year-old son. Papa Stark thinks that the zombies don't exist and that Dirtface is just crazy. Oh, gross. Then we cut to a dead deer on the road with its guts hanging out. They look around for what killed the deer, and then they come upon a dead wolf with an antler stuck in its neck. There's 5 little baby wolves trying to nurse on the dead mom wolf. Papa Stark says that they have to kill the babies, but Weird Raven Kid is like, no, please, let me keep them as pets. Bastard King suggests that since there are 5 pups and 5 Stark children, each Stark should get a wolf. For some reason, Papa Stark listens to him and they spare the pups' lives. Weird Raven Kid asks Bastard King why he doesn't get a pet, and Bastard King says that he's not a Stark. Yeah, dude, you have no idea. Just wait until you're banging your cousin. As they're leaving, Bastard King hears a noise and finds a 6th wolf pup. It's the runt of the litter, so Bastard King takes it for himself. We cut to a weird funeral-looking thing. A guy with crazy rocks on his eyes is lying dead in a throne room. We see short-haired queen, but her hair is long. And we see handsome man in armor, but he's not wearing armor. So much has changed. Oh wow, short-haired queen is worried that this dead guy told the king about her secret, which I'm assuming is that her and her brother are in a weird incestuous relationship. This dead guy was also the king's assistant. How convenient that a powerful man who knows a secret about short-haired queen just happens to die. She totally did it. We cut to Mama Stark breaking the news to Papa Stark that Rock-Eyed Guy is dead. Then she says that the king is on his way to their castle. We cut to a weirdly erotic room full of topless men getting their faces shaved. I guess this guy with the sexy jawline is also one of the Stark siblings. Nothing like three best friends, topless, getting haircuts together, right? We cut to Weird Raven Kid running around on the roof of the castle doing parkour. Mama Stark sees him and tells him to stop climbing. Weird Raven Kid is like, come on, let me have some fun while I can. I'm gonna be in a wheelchair when I get older. The king arrives with a group of people. Red-haired queen sees a little blonde kid and you can tell that she's totally crushing on him. Everybody kneels for this chubby king who turns out to be that guy from A Knight's Tale. I love A Knight's Tale. Chubby King tells Papa Stark that he's gotten fat, and Papa Stark is like, look who's talking. Then they both laugh and they hug. These guys are old friends. Papa Stark and Chubby King walk through the crypts. Chubby King asks Papa Stark to be his assistant. He also says that they'll join houses by having red-haired queen marry his little blonde son. We cut to a blonde Peter Dinklage fooling around with a curly-haired naked woman. This is such a different Peter Dinklage than what I'm used to in season 7. I mean, right now he's acting like a playboy who has a drinking problem. He must have really cleaned up his act throughout the show. Handsome Man in Armor walks in and is like, you need to be at dinner on time, so I brought you a bunch of women from the brothel to have sex with. We then cut to Chubby King paying his respects to Papa Stark's sister. Chubby King was in love with her, but then she died. Oh, wow. Wait, okay, so Papa Stark's sister is the woman that married the Targaryen and gave birth to Bastard King, as I discovered in the season finale of season 7. Spoiler alert. I should have said spoiler alert before I spoiled everything. So Chubby King was in love with Bastard King's mom. That much is for sure. And the reason that Chubby King hates Targaryens is because Papa Stark's sister and Bastard King's mom ran away with a Targaryen and Chubby King loved her. Is that right? Speak of the devil, we cut to Legolas Queen, and she's with the guy that married Bastard King's mom. And this guy is Bastard King's dad. And Legolas Queen is just talking to him as if she has no idea her future boyfriend is this guy's son. What the heck? This guy, who is related to Legolas Queen, takes off her clothes and touches her chest. He talks about how he's gonna become a king, and then he says that Legolas Queen is his sister, which means that Legolas Queen is Bastard King's aunt. She's gonna bang her nephew. Then Legolas Queen just gets into a burning hot bathtub and doesn't even flinch. Then we cut outside to Legolas King talking to a guy who looks just like Ron Swanson if he had a weird beard. Some muscular long-haired men show up on horses, and Legolas King points out to Legolas Queen that this one huge guy with eyeliner on has long hair because he's never lost a fight. Legolas King is marrying off his sister to form an alliance with the muscular long-haired men. Legolas Queen walks up to Eyeliner Guy, and he just takes one look at her and then rides away. Rude? He must be playing hard to get. We cut to Ron Swanson telling Legolas King that Legolas Queen will be marrying Eyeliner Guy soon. Legolas Queen says that she doesn't want to marry him, and Legolas King says that she has to, and he's kind of being a really big jerk about it. I don't like this guy, I can't wait for him to die. We cut to Mama Stark doing Red-haired Queen's hair. Red-haired Queen wants to marry that little blonde kid so that she can become queen someday. We cut to the dinner party, and Chubby King is making out with a lady right in front of Short-haired Queen's face. These two are meant for each other with all the cheating that they do. We quickly cut outside to Bastard King practicing his sword fighting on a dummy. Hey, the uncle that miraculously saves Bastard King's life in season 7 is here. He works at the Wall, and Bastard King wants to go work with him there. Bastard King's uncle doesn't seem to want Bastard King to go. He says the Wall isn't going anywhere, which we all know now is totally false. Bastard King's uncle walks away and Peter Dinklage emerges and talks to Bastard King. He tells Bastard King not to be ashamed of being a bastard, but to wear it like armor so it can't be used against him. That sounds more like the wise Peter Dinklage of season 7. We cut inside to dinner where Papa Stark is talking to Bastard King's uncle about Dirtface. They both agree that winter is coming. Red-haired Queen goes up to Short-haired Queen and Mama Stark's table. They're having a nice conversation when Short-haired Queen asks Red-haired Queen if she's had her period yet. You know, that classic question that's in every conversation. Hi, how are you doing? You look so pretty. I really like your dress. Have you had your period yet? How old are you? Papa Stark and Handsome Man in Armor start talking, and Handsome Man in Armor challenges him to a fight in a tournament. Handsome Man in Armor is a bit more arrogant in this episode than he is in season 7. Young Sad Girl flings food at Red-haired Queen, so Sexy Jawline Guy takes Young Sad Girl to her room. We cut to Mama and Papa Stark talking in bed. Mama Stark doesn't want Papa Stark to become the king's assistant, but it seems like he's pretty much decided he's gonna do it. Then, a note from Mama Stark's sister arrives. Her sister has fled the capital because Rock Eyes was murdered by Short-haired Queen and her family, and Rock Eyes was her husband. So now these murderers are in their castle as guests. Papa Stark needs to tell Chubby King what's going on. We cut to a big party with a bunch of muscular long-haired men. I can't really show you too much footage of this scene because pretty much everybody's naked. A fight breaks out, and instead of breaking it up, everybody just watches and cheers. Eyeliner Guy also seems super into it. One guy wins the fight and chops off the other guy's hair. Ron Swanson reveals that this party is the wedding between Eyeliner Guy and Legolas Queen. Then, Scar Guy shows up. He gives Legolas Queen some books as a gift and says that he used to serve Legolas Queen's dad when he was the king. Ron Swanson gives Legolas Queen 3 dragon eggs that he says have turned into stone. I bet they haven't. Those are totally her dragon sons in those eggs, right? Eyeliner Guy gives Legolas Queen a horse, and then they ride off to the beach together. Eyeliner Guy wants to consummate the marriage. Legolas Queen tries talking to him, but the only English he knows is the word no. Legolas Queen is really upset that she's been forced into this marriage, and the whole thing is just really sad. We cut to Peter Dinklage hanging out with the Hound. That's a fun cameo. I guess the Hound works for Peter Dinklage's family. Papa Stark is getting ready to go hunting with Chubby King. He agreed to be his assistant, but he still hasn't told him about the fact that his wife killed his old assistant. Weird Raven Kid is climbing around the castle when he hears something inside of a window. He goes to check it out, and he sees that Short-Haired Queen and Handsome Man in Armor are having sex. He watches them for a while from the window, and who can really blame him? And then Short-Haired Queen sees him. Handsome Man in Armor runs over and grabs Weird Raven Kid. Handsome Man in Armor turns to Short-Haired Queen, and then pushes Weird Raven Kid out of the window. And then the episode ends. Wow, okay, so that's probably how Weird Raven Kid ends up in a wheelchair. He probably falls on his neck and gets paralyzed or something. Also, when this show first came out and you saw those two having sex at the end of the episode, it was probably like the biggest, like, what is going on moment of all time. I mean, they clearly had a secret with each other, but up until the very end, you didn't know what the secret was. And it was that they're having sex with each other. You know, like siblings do in the show. It's funny how similar, but also how different Season 1 and Season 7 are from each other. It's kind of like I'm watching all these characters in their crazy college years. There's also way more nudity in this one episode than there was in the 5 episodes of Season 7 that I saw. I guess you gotta hook people into the pilot by showing them, you know, boobies and butts. So now I've seen episode 1 and I've seen the last 5 episodes of the show. Now I want you guys to recommend an episode for me to watch that's somewhere in the middle of all of that. I want to be confused. This episode was not super confusing because it's the first episode of the series, so like everybody is being introduced to the characters. But next episode, give me something where I'm like, who's this guy? Who's that lady? They're dating? What? So go ahead and leave me those episode suggestions in the comments. I'm not pointing at my penis, I'm pointing at the comments. Okay, bye!